Yeah. I had more, a little bit more engagement when I was contacting people one by one through their public things, but it wasn't a lot.
All right, shall we put it on general now?
Yeah, I was just looking and then I got all of these messages, so I squirreled. Sorry.
Are you doing it or do you want me to, Christine?
Yep, I got it right here.
Okay.
Needing to discuss sponsorships is happening.
I know. Get your asses in here.
Right?
Yeah, come on.
Far too polite.
Get it together.
I know.
You know, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna talk to Fritz and see where his head is at and what he's thinking and how we can kind of move forward with things. You know, we talked about getting some input with one-on-ones with the leadership team, and so much of the leadership committee has been super busy, like Lucky with his thing, Layla with
Brian Clark just had a baby.
Brian Clark just had a baby. And
that's a medical miracle.
Yeah.
We're all really happy for you. Congratulations, Brian. No, so you know, we'll just keep talking. As long as we have consistent meetings, pretty much in my experience is after about 3 meetings, people show up, and as they are not, and if they are not, then okay, there's a different strategy to go with there. I did make that form about engagement and what kind of speakers and what kind of people that we want to invite. And I haven't gotten a lot of responses there. So I was going to send out emails directly to people and Twitter DM, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever. And just see what happens. As more and more things are happening, people will know where to plug themselves into the slots. However, for our last events meeting for our next event, it was me and it was just Mr. Towler and I. So it's Litany and I showed up. But, you know, we'll need 6, 7, 8 volunteers to put together an event and consistently. So we'll see how it kind of rolls out right now. As of right now, we are scheduling out way more time than just 2 months of how Layla and I, you know, got our last event together. So we're giving more lead time. I don't know. We have less response though this time. So maybe because there's more lead time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's very difficult. If it seems very urgent, more people will pile on to quote help out.
Yeah.
But then the complaint will be we didn't have enough time. And then if there's a ton of time, people will be like, I ain't got to worry about that stuff for 3 weeks.
Yeah, no, we're good. Well, you know, I just wanted to go over what we talked about last time really briefly for the sponsorship meeting. ML Astra talked about the sign up process. We talked about the form with official sponsorships. Layla and I had talked about putting some points together for a contract, just a basic contract for live coders, both between the live coders and the team member, and also between the live coders and the sponsor, just to help with negotiations that might, you know, help relieve anxiety. Obviously, if team members want to get their own sponsors, of course, but like ML Astra was saying, there are certain people who struggle with that, and it's a little more difficult for them to do those negotiations, or even to worry about, am I signing my life away or all my content or whatever. Luckily, you know, we do have that kind of representation. We have errors and omissions insurance, you know, as an organization. And I talked to Fritz, and so he said he'd run the contracts through legal to make sure that everything was on the up and up as we're representing both sides. So, you know, I mean, from here, I guess, we would put together the agreement for the attorneys to look at, and then also the sign up process for the form. Although, like I said, I put out a form about, hey, let's sign up for some mini events. Who do you want to see speak? And I haven't gotten any responses yet. So.
And then I think, Layla, didn't you mention that you have one sponsorship contract that we could kind of use or learn from?
Yeah, I'll sponsor.
Let's
So, oh, you mean the contract I
The
had?
contract side,
Yes.
yeah, that part
Yeah.
of it.
Sorry, misunderstood.
That's all right.
I'm wondering if we could maybe today just copy paste some of those points out of it and, you know, put together, start working on that contract.
I'll try and find it.
And then scheduling expectations was another thing. I really liked the points at how we had talked about alternate dates, remember, so that people aren't necessarily locked in to a very specific time frame because things happen, or you might get sick, or, you know, we're talking about live coding here. So if things get dropped off or your internet, whatever, you're not on the line, you know, with that sponsor. So there is flexibility within that time. We talked about that as well.
Mhm.
And then I think maybe just putting in, like David had said, the value adds at the beginning, the benefits. Layla had mentioned some benefits as well, and ML Astra. So if we put those benefits, the discoverability, the, you know, attorney having reviewed your contract for you, any kind of anxiety and negotiations you might have, those are all.
Yeah, I think that it could be nice in, you know, a non-legal prose way to sort of do it like, you know, what do you get? What
Yeah.
does the sponsor get? And then what does the live coders organization get? And be just crystal clear about it. Like, hey, if it's the case that there's a commission percentage that happens in the middle, then just be clear about it and say, here's what we get, here's what you get, here's what
Oh,
they
of
get.
course.
And
Yeah.
then like total transparency, because someone may see that and say, well, you know, whatever. And that's fine, but they saw it and they can make the choice.
Oh yeah, no, I'm all about putting everything all up front and right from the beginning. So it's pretty clear. We could put what to expect from live coders, what to expect from the sponsor, timing. There was, let me go back to our other notes here. We were going to put, oh yeah, the flexibility benefit. And let me give this link to you.
I guess I haven't talked directly to Jeff about this anytime recently. And I guess something that is kind of sticking out in my head that I don't quite understand is when it comes to doing the contract between the organization and the sponsor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the org and the member, like that seems pretty cut and dry and clear to me.
Mm-hmm.
But between the other two,
Mm-hmm.
like I would predict a sponsor is always going to have their own contract, right? And then we're going to be sitting here trying to marry it up with what we want in a way. So
Mm-hmm.
who would actually be doing that? Like that is going to be additional work probably every time.
To
Like, is
look
that
at the
something
sponsor, right? Yes, that's fine. We can have, yes, we can
like,
have
like is
legal
that something
review
that
their
Jeff
sponsor.
does? Like
No,
who
we have
actually?
a legal, no, the
Okay,
team has an account, yes.
okay, okay,
So we will pass that, we'll get that sponsorship agreement, pass it over, have them review it, make suggestions, bring it back. And the live coders is always going to have their same standard contract, right? And that'll be reviewed as well.
okay, okay. I was just trying to make sure that there is somebody that owns it because as this, you know, starts up, I wouldn't want any single person to be some sort of a bottleneck.
Oh, right.
Or
So
like,
it would
hey,
be,
congrats, you're
well,
taking on a new job, you know?
oh, right. Well, the attorneys will still have to look at it and agree to, you know, and review it. And then, I mean, I don't see why there would be anything beyond that.
Okay.
It would be great to have a leadership committee member who was really, would take charge specifically of that sponsorship process. It's hard right now because everybody has a lot going on. Half the leadership committee right now has a lot going on.
I mean, I certainly couldn't do it at the moment, but I'm open to apprenticing. learning
Right,
how to do it.
right. Once we get the process down. And so right
I
now,
have
this was just a
nothing.
beta putting it down. Let me give you, did I give you that link? No, here's the link in chat, Layla. Here we go in chat. There's a link to this document. So we can just start putting notes in here. The discoverability benefit. I'm just putting the flexibility benefit in here.
Need to give us access.
Yeah, I
request it.
just requested it.
Get the link. Anyone? Oh gosh. Yes, anyone with the link. I said, save it. Done. Okay. Yay. Does that work?
Yep, I see it.
Okay, great. I'm going to share my screen here so we can all work on it together. Perfect. This discoverability. Okay, there was flexibility to make sure that we can there was also can you, I have a note here, David, about the exclusivity issue that wasn't covered last time. Can you, that's all I wrote in my notes. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Let me think
Something
for a
about
second.
exclusivity.
I think what I remember that referring to is that you can find your own sponsors.
Oh, right.
Right. So you may enter into a contract with Live Coders and then enter into, let's say, I don't know, NordVPN or something, right?
Right.
But if the Live Coders doesn't have an agreement with someone else, I mean, you can do that.
Yeah.
Like, or if you decide you wanted to work directly with them and not use the Live Coders,
Right. Right.
then that's fine, whatever, right?
Which many people are fine doing that. They don't have the anxiety of negotiations, or, you know, maybe they do have an attorney or they have somebody that they can refer to. What else can we put in here? Contract perhaps coming. Okay, individuals. Here's the process. If a sponsor completes a Google form, what do they want? This, that, streamers qualifications. We post the offer to the team. See who is interested, and then we give it to the sponsor, give them 7 days, and everyone who's interested. Okay. I also want to put in here any other benefits. I guess that's it. Help reduce the anxiety of negotiating, I guess. Okay, so what's next? Here are the benefits. What to expect from the sponsor. That is going to change every time based on the sponsor's agreement, right? So the sponsor will say, we're going to give you this for that, the benefit of this also is that we're going to be able to get group sponsorships. You know, so instead of a sponsor going, hey, I need to contact all of these people one-on-one, the sponsor can say, hey, Live Coders, do you have 6 people who are like this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's another
Mhm.
benefit, having a group sponsorship for, I guess that's more of a benefit for the sponsor.
I think there's definitely a benefit on both sides,
Yeah.
you know, because if you are a Live Coder team member and something like this is, you know, you've opted yourself in essentially, saying, I'm willing to do XYZ tech stacks or whatever, and we kind of know, then if something like that comes up, I mean, you may not be in the room when it comes up, but we know that you do it, so you're at least going to get contacted about it.
And they also get um,
Layla, is this all lining up with what you could imagine as a sponsor you
Yeah, I
would
think so.
expect, or are we reinventing a wheel?
I don't know what to expect. I've not
Okay.
done it before, so it's hard.
Okay.
it's
And
hard,
it's a
right?
different thing. You know, what I want us not to do is be so specific that we hog tie ourselves. That's all,
Mhm.
because it's going to be a very one size won't fit all. So we just need
Right.
to have a few outlines in this, that this is why we're doing it. This is how we're going to do it. But each deal is going to be different. So, you know, we just need to make sure that we don't over specify.
Okay, cool. What can we put for? I mean, I think that we should just create a simple one sheet where we have somebody sign at the bottom with just some loose bullet points, and then people can write in their scheduling and write in the terms um, based on that sponsor. So maybe we'll have one sponsor contract for, I don't know, 6 streamers at a time, or maybe it's just one here or there. Or, you know, even starting out with Assembly AI, Layla wants to, you know, just grab a handful and see what happens. It's We can keep it so that there are some fill in the blanks for the stream times, the amounts. Um, I don't know how it was discussed before, but I know that there were different points that were brought up, but nothing was ever really decided. They were just kind of things thrown out and ideas thrown out here and there. I wish Lucky was here. I know he was in those conversations before. You know, Mary. I kind of miss them and their voice. Do we have any ideas about some language to talk about? This is what we want to do. The live coders is a group of streamers.
Is this stuff, sorry to interrupt though, is this not stuff that we could do asynchronously?
This is stuff we
Like
could do
the language here.
asynchronously, and I just need to know what to do though. Like what do we put in here?
Okay.
We could put in what? Or I can leave this document open and I can walk away and come back after somebody else has put some stuff in. So I kind of know where to go.
Yeah, I'm just talking about it. It's like I'm not very good at like giving you input like this.
Gotcha.
I need to read something, take it away.
Gotcha.
I can't work like this.
Gotcha.
So if I have a document I can fiddle with and do,
Cool.
where I'm not sitting here and I may be able to live code, but I can't write
I
content like this.
Maybe leave the document open so we can add to it, and then, just really quickly note, input needed, or elaborate here in just like a colored text on a line or something.
Yeah.
And we could go
We can
piece it.
Yeah. Bullet points even. Like
Yeah.
let's just start with some bullet points.
Yeah,
like,
I think
so these ones right here, I don't know.
no, I think that those are fine. We can work with that.
I mean, we'll do individual sponsorship too. It doesn't have to be a group. So I don't know what other benefits that we can.
I know that like all of these are going to be relatively unique, especially on the early stage. Like
Correct.
if we end up getting repeat sponsors, then things will be we'll know what to tell someone to expect. But considering our audience is
Yeah.
going to be people who want us to do the hard stuff for them, how can we answer their question? I don't even know what I could get out of a sponsorship. Like,
Right.
someone brand new that's never done it, or like they are they just hit affiliate on Twitch, right? They just got invited to the stream team. And we've
Yeah.
got this thing about sponsorship, and it's like maybe they're like, I don't even know how any of that works. What could I get? Do I get money or do I get t-shirts or what the hell, right?
Yeah, I like that. And then, like you were saying up here, some kind of a description, about why we're doing it and how.
Yeah, maybe like just put why, how it came to be, what we hope it can become. And then we could just elaborate a couple of things.
Perfect.
It might give a little bit of an origin story of like, hey, we were thinking we'll write out the pros later, but like who came up with this and why, you know?
Good. Uh, all right. Yep. So this is all I think that I can put on here without other input. And so as we put some other things in there, whatever experiences that we have, or even if we just get this all on one sheet, two pieces of paper is fine, I guess. But if we could do it on a one sheet with some bullet points, this is what to expect. And we can fill in the dates, fill in, what the stream amounts would be or whatever, depending on what the sponsor wants. And I think we can go from there.
I think we can't worry about what we get from the sponsors. That will come out of it. I think this is what we're trying to do here is say to our team, we're going to do this. We will have a lawyer check the contract with
Yep.
the.
But they need to know what they're going to get. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean the live coders. I meant the team members. Excuse me. I misspoke. But go ahead.
I'm sorry. I wasn't. No, I was just talking in general here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sorry. I was talking about, I think the overall thing here is that we can't worry too much about what sponsors get, and that sort of thing out of it, because we can only account for the live coders and the team.
Mm-hmm.
We can't control what sponsors ask for. So what this document needs to be, like you've got here, what to expect from a sponsor. We don't know. We don't know what to expect from a sponsor. That's what I was going out of it.
So I'm thinking
we don't
blank areas in that space.
Well, I don't think on this one though, because what we're wanting is to draft the thing that would be between the live coders organization and the member.
Mm-hmm.
And that aspect probably won't include anything about what do you get from the sponsor, because at that moment we don't know the sponsor and the sponsor will change,
Right.
But it could be nice to have some examples, like general examples of possible things you could get from quote a sponsor, just for these very, very new people that don't know how it works. But I'm not saying like expectations from a sponsor, because we don't know,
So it's
we
more
wouldn't
of an example.
Yeah, kind of like some examples, include but are not limited to. This is how sponsorship works.
So you can picture it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So the next steps from here, we should also see what the sponsor wants, put that in the Google form where it's here, where we have these different kind of questions. What kind of questions should we have in there from the sponsor? I guess we could just figure out what they want. So in the case of Assembly AI, just tell us what they want, and then we can put up a unique form. So does that mean we're putting up a unique form each time for each sponsor call, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're giving, so what we want to do is like, we're doing a sponsorship program, and we will check the contracts. We will say what the a sponsor is looking for, and then people can fill out a form based on that sponsorship's requirements. So yeah, in my comment there is British rereading that. My comment doesn't fit with this, so let me just if I can get to it. So this is it. So when we go and create a form, like, okay, Assembly AI would like to sponsor, they need a minimum of 500 followers. They are looking for 5 streamers. They don't mind what tech stack, as long as you can do RESTful APIs. And they want to have streamed 3 times a week for the last 3 months. Okay. If you fit these criteria, please put down, please step forward, please. And if you fit this criteria and you're interested, go for it,
Yeah.
So the sponsors are going to say, right, we're looking for 5 streamers. We need them to have a minimum of 500 followers. We need them to be fairly active. We're really looking for people who, they don't need to have like billions of people, but I want them to stream like twice a week. And I want them, to have at least an average of 25 over the past of 25 viewers per
current viewer,
an hour.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for the past 30 days. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we can help guide sponsors with, like, they're like, yeah, I'm looking for someone. Okay, well, so let's have a look on Sully Gnome.
Yes.
These are sort of the metrics you can have. So you can say that over the last 30 days, you want to have an average view of X. You can have and then you can say, how many followers do you think? You want someone who's got good standing. Actually, you want a big streamer. So while that will probably cost you more, you want someone who's got 10,000 plus followers and has an average of 60 plus. Well, you're probably going to look to play more because that's more exposure. Right. So we can set expectations with our potential sponsors, but they're going to come back and go, actually, okay, now you've given us this outline. Mm-hmm. We're going to go away. That can just be a document that we have on our site. The type of thing, if you would like to sponsor the team, please consider X, Y, and Z, and fill out this form. Okay, so with your requirements, and that form can be quite free text. So they're like, okay, so here's a bullet point list. Just pop in here. Do you need, or even like, do you need have like an ad requirements? So they've like a bit of JavaScript that will add another input, and it's a collection of requirements. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the how, not the no, what.
That's good.
Hey, you're a life coder. It's in your nature.
So we could have like a collection of requirements. We could give them some examples, like, do you have a minimum follower count? Do you here, if you want to see the type of thing, here, go check out Sully Gnome for the last 30 days of, Jeff. We'll send them to Jeff. Here's an example of the type of data that we can give you and filter our streamers by. And so they can come back, yes, we need, top tier here, must have 8,000 plus followers. We could even go and say, here, check out the team on Sully Gnome. Here they are. You can go and check out the team on there, and they can sort them by whatever criteria they want. And they can actually come in and say, I actually want 5 out of the top 20 on Sully Gnome. They can do stuff like that. So we can guide them.
That's
and then
a
we
great
can
idea.
go and say, all right, folks, so this particular sponsor's come and said they want 5 people from this subset, which is the top 20 on Sully Gnome for the past 30 days, because that might be something that they want. But there'll be a cost expectation there because they're higher rate. So this is where I would like people to be like, okay, so, if you want them to be bothered to do it, you probably need to pay a bit more because, they are higher profile and they may accept $200 for a 3-hour stream, but they may want 1,000, So all we, just set expectations, and also let our streamers know that if they don't think that the money's worth their time, feed it back, because we can always say, right, if you want Coding Garden and they're 350 average a stream,
oh yeah,
CJ said that actually it's not worth my while advertising that product and doing a stream on it and cutting it out of my usual flow, and the sort of impact on trust or whatever it might have. I don't know, because they're being sponsored. There's lots of concerns that people might have. But if they're going to pay me $5,000, well, I can do that. I can buy new equipment. I can donate that to charity. There may be a price point where, say, I'm only using CJ. I have no idea what CJ's thoughts on any of this are. I'm just using it as an example because they're, like a super successful. And they may be like, well, actually, if they're going to pay me 5,000, I will do a 3-hour stream, which is a lot of visibility for someone. But but I want them to donate that money to Black Girls Code or something. They may have stipulations like that. Whereas if they came to me and they're like, Layla will pay you $500 for 3 hours, I'd be like, yes, please. Where do I sign on the dotted line? There's different things, because I'm thinking, oh, that will buy me a new camera or something like that. So we're not saying. I think the only unclear thing here is, are people, say we've got the one sponsor and they come up and they're like, right, we're going to pay CJ 2,000. Okay. But because they asked for it, CJ went, I'll do it for $2,000. Is that acceptable? And they go, yes, because we want CJ. But I'm like, they come to me because they initially approached everyone with $500. And I was like, oh, yes, I'll take that. So I think there must be some expectation that some people will negotiate and some people won't. So I don't know that if people hear, if there's going to be some sort of rumors, and there always is, like, I only got $500 for that. Right. CJ got 2,000. Table flip. Yeah. I don't know how we deal with that. Or do we say, well, actually, it's a flat fee across all of our streamers, regardless of them? And I don't know how that's going to work. That may scupper us. But I think that's something that we can put to the team, that kind of question, because I want that to be out in the open, that, this is a contract between the individual as well. And the team may be like, everyone agrees that no, everyone gets paid the same. So then we're like, okay, we'll go to sponsor X and we're like, okay, if you want CJ, you're going to have to pay everybody $2,000. I don't know. I don't know either. And that might be unrealistic for a sponsor. Or we just say, right, sorry, this sponsor will pay, $500 a person, take it or leave it. There's no negotiation. And I think that's something we need to pose towards the team and how they feel about that. Or is everyone okay if, someone says, okay, I'm going to negotiate this. I think I can get more money. And someone is like, actually, I'm okay with that. I can't be bothered negotiating. And, these are sort of the things that probably weren't thought out when shit hit the fan last year. And those sorts of things, because the rumor mill was rife. And I think we just need to address them. I don't know what the answer is. And I don't know but I'm not going to speak for the team on this. I think we can come to a decision on how we can behave on this. And I think, these are something that we can put all in an email and put out to everybody, and request feedback from the entire team. And we need to push forward and make sure that everyone has at least acknowledged that they've seen the email and they understand what's going on.
Unfortunately, we don't have emails for everybody.
Whatever the medium is, the multiple mediums that we seem to have.
We really need to button that up. That's a different topic though. Did we ever implement that thing where if we post an announcement, you have to react to it?
We did not.
Darn. Okay. I was thinking that would be a great use for it, but yeah, I think that I would really like to hear from Jeff, to be honest, on this, because he may have thoughts around it, and maybe it is true that he hadn't thought around it, or he did and then he just kind of dropped it when that whole thing happened, and I just am not aware of what his plans were going to be. So we probably do want to hear from him. And then we need to craft some sort of messaging, basic, not this whole document, but something slimmed down with anything that we have undecided, very short, and say, hey, should it be this or should it be this or something else? I don't know. Blast that out to as many people as we can on the team and give a due date for feedback. I mean, that's one of the things that is that we're dealing with here is, we've got Christina on the call and then two people from the leadership committee when the entire channel and the entire thing, the point was other people discuss the stuff and then present it to us, right? What are your thoughts on
This
that?
isn't
Like,
great
yeah.
right now.
What are your thoughts on that being kind of the next step? Like what really has to happen next is we have some unanswered questions that we probably need to figure out, and some of it may come from Jeff. Then we can reach out to the team with something kind of basic.
Sounds good.
Or should we have everything all buttoned up before we reach out to anyone on the team, and then leave very limited options for take it or leave it or feedback? Like, I guess that's the thing. How much do we want baked in this document type stuff before we reach out and say, what are your thoughts, team?
I think last year we tried to have all the ideas gone and present it, and that didn't work for us. So I think we have to go, these are some of the ideas that we're bouncing around. Please give us your input before we finalize it. I think based on past experience, we'll have to go that way.
Okay.
And then
that's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it going either way, but you're right. We need to learn from previous mistakes, and I think that that's the correct way of doing it.
I think we just do another survey. We include this in the questions, and that will help. So also, of course, we have to talk to the leadership committee too and see what Fritz had in mind before maybe some of these questions are answered. And then we'll put out a survey to everybody, and I will send it out far and wide to Twitter DMs and all the things, and see what happens, and spend the time contacting people individually and try to push them to Discord server. We really need some kind of a communication. So even with the survey, to get feedback, to get people to answer their survey.
Christina, I have a question for you. Because we're never going to be able to just say, everyone give us your emails all at once. But you had mentioned that there will be things like the survey, there will be you're individually contacting people. Is there somewhere we can start building that collection of emails though?
Sure, there is. And again, people are very, very hesitant in using email and in sharing.
Hey,
you're on.
Spam them. Come on. But that's not at you. That's just like frustration. Email is like, sorry.
Yeah.
Or Twitter, or whatever you can reliably.
I mean, you know how much time it takes to send 165 individual Twitter DMs to.
You shouldn't be doing that. It's
10% of the people respond and go, and then the ones that do, So it's a communications thing. It's an expectations thing. I wanted to bring in the new applicants and process the new applicants. There's just not a lot of engagement on the Discord server or in the meetings.
Well,
you can go look at all the meetings. It's usually 2 or 3 people and the same a few of us showing up.
So I'm sharing Layla's frustration, and what I may offer is that, sure, you may have some people that are hesitant about the email, but I'm only presuming here, but I would presume it's in the minority of the entire team. And if it is the case, that's fine. We can deal with that special case, but we should also include what is your email in any survey, in anything that we send out, in any communication. Just
Well, for all of the
you
new
know.
people that we're onboarding, yes, I did that, and I have all their emails. However, we have 58 new people to process for applicants and nobody to show up to process them. So, you know,
I
Yeah,
wasn't criticizing. I'm sorry. I wasn't criticizing you, Christina. I was offering it as, hey, every time we have a touch point, try to get the
right.
email
No, I
if we don't
do.
already have it and store it somewhere. That's
Right.
all I
No, I
was
do
saying.
that. No, I do
Okay.
that. And most people do not want to share it. Most
I
people,
can't
they're not in
believe that.
they're not in the
That's
minority. They are in the majority. And so, you know, if people are either going to, all the newbies, sure, I can get all their emails, but there's 165 other, 170 now, I guess.
it's crazy to me. I just don't get it. I like, you can block emails, you can put filters on, but just I'm sorry, I'm really taken aback how reticent people are about this. It's
Yeah.
not like we're the IRS or whatever.
Right. But you know, people want to see more speakers, and then even then when I send out the thing about, hey, all right, so who do you want to speak? Well, who can we invite? Even then there's not a lot of, so I think maybe the announcement thing, we should revisit the announcement thing so that people have to, but even then if they're not checking in on the Discord server,
Yeah, it's definitely not a silver bullet for those cases of people that don't come in.
Yeah, like you're saying, no one's coming to the processing. A lot of these meetings are at 9 o'clock at night. I'm pulling like 10, 11-hour days at the moment. I have zero capacity for a lot
and you're
of
the one who
this.
shows up all the time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't do this. I sit on other committees as well. And you know, it's like 20 past 6 at night here. I've been sat at this desk since 9 a.m. with very little break. I've just done a full day's work. And I'm sorry if anyone's watching this and they're like, oh my God, she's a bitch for saying we have to use email. But I'm just like, we're trying to communicate. I just don't understand it. I'm sorry. We're a team. We're not trying to get money off people. If I just don't understand it. That's all. And I really struggle. That, you know, everyone on the committee here are like volunteering our time, and I you know, it's just really difficult situation.
Yeah. Well, I've got some time scheduled with Fritz, so I'll make sure that, you know, this meeting goes up on our channel. I'll talk to him about all of our conversation. We'll share the meeting notes and go over everything and see what the next steps are. Get his input on these questions as well, any kind of notes about sponsoring, and you know, then I'll ask his input on putting out another survey and getting these other applicants processed as well. I'm not sure. I mean, you know, the thing is that before he was talking to people one-on-one to please come and engage, and it's just not sustainable. You can't just, it's not, either people want to be engaged or not. So yeah. Okay, well, I appreciate everybody showing up today. I appreciate all your input. I know that you're super tired, Layla, so thank you, darling. It's great to see you anyway. And you're always showing up regardless. So it's awesome.
I don't let people down. I really try. It's my thing. If I say I'm going to be in something, I'll be there. I have to stop setting myself on fire to keep other people warm, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, excellent. Well, thanks for your time, everybody.
So is this a document we
can,
do we have permission to edit the document
as
well for now?
I just
okay.
did.
Yeah.
You should be able to.
Yeah, it looks like I can. Okay.
All right, awesome.
I'll try to add some thoughts in there the next couple of days. And
okay.
so just, yeah, I guess keep us updated on what you hear back from Jeff with those sort of, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Because I'm personally just curious. I didn't really consider those questions that were brought up.
We're due for a leadership committee meeting too, so we can all get.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I am. It's a long weekend here, and I am
Do it,
going
girl.
to really try to step away from the computer.
Do it.
It's been a very full-on 6 weeks, so if you don't hear from me, apologies. But I am trying just to switch off.
Unplug.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
You've
Thank
earned it.
you.
Yes.
All right. Thank you all. Don't forget
All
to
right,
stop the
lovelies.
recording.
I'm stopping
And
it right now. Yep.
okay.
All right.